Welcome to Bulls, Beers, and Brawls. You got Big Boo with ya. Hope you're doing well out there, fight fans. We had a BKFC return to Hammond on Friday, June 26th. Geez, I had to try and remember what month it was even. Um, anyway, return to Hammond. They brought their small ring, the one that Cyrus is dubbing the Ring of Fire, and I actually like that. I like that. It's got a nice touch to it. The Ring of Fire. Anyway, we had 8 scraps on the main card in Hammond, topped off with a welterweight main event. I'm gonna go through that main card top to bottom, go through the results, and give my personal little take on each and every fight. So, without further ado, let's get at it. So the main event going down in Hammond on Friday night, as mentioned, was in the welterweight division. We had the 3-2 Cameron Vancamp. He was taking on the 4-2 Gregoris Cisneros. Really trying hard not to screw that name up, but here we go. Well then, Vancamp, he got hurt and dropped early on here. After that, it was pretty much just rinse and repeat, as Jumpman never did recover from that first power bomb. Speaking of power bombs, Cisneros just landed those power bombs with ease. Ends up getting the first round knockout, ends the night for Vancamp. It was a great promotional debut, including 3 knockdowns. Realistically, folks, this guy could be trouble. And I'm talking about the best kind of trouble in BKFC. I can't wait to see a little bit more here of Cisneros. I know he does have a record of 4-2, but to my knowledge, I've never seen him scrap before. So that was a treat for me. Kind of bittersweet. I am a Vancamp fan. I don't know why. There's just something about Jumpman that draws me to him, and I always cheer for him. Wasn't his night. I don't know what's next for him, honestly, but he's going to need to take some time here before deciding anything, because he did take quite the wallop last night. And in the co-main, we had heavyweight scrap. 7-5, Arnold AJ Adams was returning. He was taking on the 4-3 Steve Panda Banks. Now, both were landing big shots here, both bloody, swelling. And then Adams put Banks down and out in the second round with a right hand to that already damaged eye of Banks. You know what, folks? He made Panda Bear look more like King Hippo the way he went down there. It was a little bit funny, I'm not going to lie. Now, I don't usually laugh at, other people's pain like that, but it was just comical. You got to give it that, right? Not only that, I'm not really a big fan of Steve Banks here. I don't know. He's just, the only thing he is big, right? He's big. He can usually take a shot. And obviously with his size comes the power, but he's so slow. I just don't think he's a good look for the sport. And I'm just being honest here, folks. Anyway, on to Adams. He actually wants, pardon me, it sounds like he wants Rothwell next. And Rothwell was in attendance. And, of course, Rothwell's not going to say no. But is that the fight we're going to get next, folks? The feature scrap, BKFC Hammond, was going down the light heavyweight division. We had the 2-1 Brandon Conley. He was taking on the 1-0 Aubrey Mendonca. I think that's how you say it. And that's what I'm going for. Wow. Another stellar performance here for Conley. Folds Aubrey with a right hand in the first round. You know what? Conley's not perfect. Okay, nobody is, but you know what I'm saying. He's not perfect, but when he's on, He is fucking on. We also saw an iron weight scrap in Hammond on Friday night. We had the 2-3 Gabriel Mota. He was taking on the 1-3 Alex Davis. Big fight for both here, as you can see, with losing records. So both really wanting to go out there and get that W. But you know what, folks? This was an absolute shit show. That's really the only word I can think of for this fight. Shit show. Davis all of a sudden went down and he told the ref he couldn't see, told the doctors he couldn't see, so obviously he didn't want to fucking fight anymore. It ends up ending in a no contest. They claim the eye injury was caused by some phantom illegal elbow. Now, Mota did kind of post with his forearm, but from everything I saw, he was under Davis's chin. Nowhere near that fucking eye. The only thing that I did see is there was a clash of heads, an accidental clash of heads. Maybe that's what caused the injury, and I don't know. Some kind of illegal elbow. I mean, if it was an illegal elbow, then why would it be a no contest? The whole thing didn't fucking make sense. The whole thing was, it just wasn't handled well. Halfway through that Hammond card would have been the fourth fight of the night, going down in the bantamweight division. We had the 1-0 Ronnie Hauser, MD, Doogie's brother, I believe. He was taking on the 3-2 Justin Street. This was a nice fight here with Hauser looking to be more in control, in my opinion. That was until a right hand from hell busted his eye up bad. It was a great fourth round finish for Justin Street. He improves to 4-2. You know what, Justin Street is he's one of those guys where after every loss, I think he's done. And then he comes back and puts on this performance. So hopefully we see more of the Nightmare. We saw another light heavyweight scrap in Hammond as a 1-0 Thomas Angelov was taking on the debuting Jojo Shizlizzi. This one was a weird one, folks. What looked like what was shaping up to be a good scrap ended with an injury. Jojo kind of, he did get pushed, there's no question. But I think he went down rather easily. I mean, when you're in a fucking fight, but it could have been caught off balance. Who am I to say? With that said, Jojo ended up landing on his shoulder and could not continue. Ends up being a TKO win for Angelov. Not exactly the ending anybody wanted to see. What would have been the second scrap on that main card was going down in the featherweight division. We had the 2-3 Steve O'Morris. He was taking on the 1-1 Brendan Meneses. You know what? Hats off to both men here as they ate and handed out punishment for the entire 5 rounds. It was a clinch heavy scrap, especially in the first half. But a lot of, pardon me, a lot of phone booth fighting here as both seem to just welcome the chaos. In the end, though, Steve O'Morris earns that close split decision victory, moves to 500 now at 3-3. And opening up the main card in Hammond on a Friday night, welterweight division, we had the 1-1 Casey Moses. He was taking on the debuting Martez McGregor. No relation to Connor, I don't believe. It was a nice debut out there for McGregor. I mean, he showed power, patience, timing, and the all-important killer instinct. 3 knockdowns to the 3rd round TKO as he put Moses down for the final time with a right hand. Beautiful stuff out there for the debuting McGregor. And there you have it, folks. That was BKFC Hammond main card. in a nutshell, um, now Feldman wasn't even in attendance. Senior wasn't in attendance. I believe Junior was, but there was no news. There was no news dropped at all during this event. Not even a sniff of news, really. But keep in mind, earlier in the week, they did have two bigger announcements here, as the announcement that they're going to Boston, Fenway Park, going to the ballpark, and Kai Stewart is headlining that card. God damn, why can't I remember who he's fighting now? I'll try to put it up on the screen. My mind's blanking here. Shit. Anyway, there was that. And there was also the news that UFC veteran Joe Lozon has signed a multi-fight deal with BKFC. So I don't know. That's going to be an interesting one. I am I'm very interested to see how Joe does out there in that squared circle, because it's I don't know, it's a much different game than the octagon. So excited to see his debut. Hopefully they drop some more news. They keep teasing. I mean, it's BKFC. This is kind of what Feldman does. At this point, I think it's just a game for him. I think he just amuses himself with it. But, big news coming, big news coming. And those were big news. Don't get me wrong. Those two drops were quite big, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but I'm waiting. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to head out. Thanks for joining me here today on Bulls, Beers, and Brawls. Till next time, everybody, take care and peace.